Hey everybody, it's Dave, Blue Jacket 66 here for another video. This is another one of my series of kind of showcase videos for some of my cards that are a little bit more high-end than some of the others. If you look back at my previous showcase video a couple videos ago, as well as my Ultimate Mickey Mantle collection, what I'm doing is just kind of finally going through some of my cards and essentially documenting what I have, the grade, and the approximate values currently, and eventually I'm going to document as well, I think, what I paid for them at some point. It's pretty much impossible because it goes back so far, but I've got to at least start somehow some sort of a spreadsheet. I have a lot of stuff, so I thought the things I would start with right now are some of the PSA and SGC and third-party grading items. So essentially what I did is, just like cards back in the day, they're all rubber banded. I had some stacks of slabs, and so I just grabbed a couple stacks of slabs, very random, because my cards are typically not specifically organized too much. I mean, some of the players are together, and some of the caramel cards and candy cards are together, but it's a pretty vastly large collection for what I've shown. But I thought, since I have the box I bought to do some transportation with them, that I would show off another 30 cards or so, and I think you'll enjoy. I think compared to my last video that had primarily pre-war, I think that there's they're all vintage, of course, but there's a fair amount of post-war in what I see that I grabbed. So I do know what I'm going to show, although I didn't know when I grabbed some stacks what I was getting. But now that I've looked at them, I've kind of organized a little bit, so I know what I'll be showing. And indeed, there's post-war vintage cards in there. So let's take a look at it, and hope you enjoy. Okay, let's kind of get into it. The first thing I wanted to do is show 5 or 6 little bit oversized cards. They're kind of difficult to show, at least on my video setup I have here. So might be a little bit awkward. We're maybe looking at a fair amount of glare on some of these, but let's just start heading through it. Really, really interesting issue here. Very rare. This is the 1952 Coca-Cola plain tips. It's a test issue. And I know I got this horrible glare here, but the Wille Mays, just not very many of these, I would say. SGC 4. I'm not really going to go over grades of this because these cards, the grades are, I'm not going to talk about the grades so much, and I'm really not going to spend much time talking on the issues. I'll probably at some point do a video on this issue. But right now, let's just kind of do a little show and tell. So really neat test issue. The Coca-Cola plain tips. Really neat back and bio. Schedule on the bottom. Super rare. Here is the 1958 Hires Root Beer with tab, Wille Mays in a 7. Most of the time, tabs are really pulled off of these. There's a send in, which I won't go into, but your name, address, city, and state, so you tear it off. Really low pop. Same thing, here's the Hank Aaron 58 Hires Root Beer with tab. Love these. Can't imagine them surviving with the tab still intact. And speaking of Hires Root Beer, really, really proud of this. Don't show it very often. I've showed it maybe once. The ultimately rare 58 Hires Root Beer, the test issue with the tab. I think there's 3 known of these. maybe 4. So that's the test issue. This is what they ultimately came out with. I don't know about the test, if, how they, I don't think there was any relevant distribution, but they made it, and you probably won't see another one of those. Okay, another oversized issue. The 1955 Johnston Cookies in a 9. Low pop on this, and there's none graded higher than this. I think there's 9 PSA 9s, and this is one of them. Awesome. Highly recommend the Johnston Cookies Aaron. Here's the ultimate Hank Aaron card. 54 Johnston Cookies. It's rookie year and a 8. Got this a long time ago, and these have shot up in value, and I think will continue to just absolutely skyrocket. Okay, now let's make our way through this box here. First thing, Gibson rookie, the 59. Got this at a National. Not my favorite card, but gotta be part of the collection. It's a 69 second year of the Johnny Bench, an 8.5. Rookie Cup card. Of course, like it way better than his rookie card, just like the Rose Rookie Cup, such a better card. Glad I pulled this one out with the group. 75 Tops Mini, George Brett and 9. Really prefer the minis. The minis are really hold close to my heart. I got a nice 75 mini set. I got a regular issue too, but I love the minis. I think I got the 75, I think I've told you, the 75 mini set I bought from my dad for like $100. Oh, it's like 1980. It's the Seaver rookie, the 67. It's a nice copy. You may notice some of these holders are older. Some of them are ancient holders. I buy the card, not the holder. Some of the old SGC holders I'd kind of like to upgrade. PSA, I don't care. The 69 Top Super. Reggie in a 9, super rare card. These supers are just so scarce as compared to the regular Tops issue. I think, speaking of which, yeah, it was with it. The regular issue Top 69. Definitely should be one of everybody's collection, the Reggie rookie. I think that's undervalued. 49 Leaf Williams. There's a lot of glare here, sorry. Oh, jumping back, pre-war. Super cool issue is the 1933 Buttercream, the R306. This is Jimmy Fox. Part of the glare is I had these in these perfect fits. They really show up the glare, but this is just super cool. The big one in this set is the Ruth that is prohibitively expensive or valuable. Second year Ryan, much preferred over that first year dud card, which I do have, but I don't care for it at all. Strange pose, strange card, but I don't have a ton of Nolan Ryan cards. Here's the bench rookie. This is really nicely centered, and it's a good grade, but it's got a problem. I don't know if you can spot it, but yep, look above that E in reds up there. It's a fisheye there. Still love Johnny Bench. Love him. Some usual rookie. Man, that glare is something else. I apologize, but I don't know what to do about it. Let me see if I can do something about that glare. Not really. Okay, we're coming. We're still going here. Here's an error on the 57. I'm not a big fan of the 57 issue in general, but I'm a big fan of the Aaron. I think Tops kind of dropped the ball on it. Just a lot of the poses are dumb and they're washed out, but the Aaron is just fantastic. The manager's dream. Mandel and Mays in an 8. 62. Cool card. The 54 Bowman Mays. Huge fan of the 54 Bowmans. Love the Mantle. And the Williams. Here's the 56 Tops Grayback. I think I paid a world record price for that one. I think I've showed this one recently, this Jim Brown. 7. Very, very well centered. It's going to be the only football card in this group, I'm pretty sure. Here's that DeLong that is just immaculate looking card. It's been altered. I need to measure it. I suppose it's probably was trimmed at some point. But I didn't want a junk copy, one that looks terrible or two. So this just looks like an 8. But I'll measure it. There's clearly a problem with it, but love it. Here's the Hires without the tab, Mays. Through the knot hole. Cool card. Jackie. 1948, the R346 blue tint. You can get into this issue. These are all hand cut. And this,
I think they can get a number if they have like the blue border all the way around. There's supposed to be a little bit of blue border on top. I think that got nicked off, but it doesn't really make any difference. This one, it's got really sharp corners. It's cut well, and it's just like any other hand-cut card. You go for what it looks like, not the number. So this is still a way to get into an early Jackie. Not the prettiest card, but it's unusual, and it's a neat set. It's another Jackie. This is my swell. Sports Thrills. 48. So, I don't consider this as rookie. It came out in 48. The 49 Leaf is in my book. There's a few issues of his that came out, including all those Bond Bread cards, but this card has exploded. If you can, I'd still try to get one. Just try to find one. They're out there. Here's an example of one of the Bond Breads. The batting, white, and he has white sleeves. I had the portrait at one time, which is the keynote one in this set, but do not have it any longer, at least right now. Here's an Oxford confectionery. The Walter Johnson. Checklist is on the back. Really fascinating stories, these confectionery companies, how they evolved. And the owners of it and whatnot. Here's the Cobb and a 6. I think maybe at one point, years and years and years ago, this is the most I ever paid for a baseball card. Beautiful image. And a unique image, I think, of Cobb. What's next? Awesomeness. 1917 Collins McCarthy, the Joe Jackson. That little crack in the bottom of the holder. I need to get that reholdered, but I would describe this as being a big deal card. Second only to the Ruth. So cool, Joe Jackson. Speaking of Ruth, the 33 Sport Kings. Very old holder. Now, why do I need to get in one of those lighthouse holders again? So I can buy the holder? No, thank you. It's not been tampered with. I'm the one that put it in that holder. Interesting strip card, W590. It's kind of unusual. Strip card for Ruth, blank back. And I know these glare is just terrible, but just huge glares off this sleeves. Real old holder here. Had a little bit of technical difficulties there, so let me just catch up here. So here's the Willard's Chocolates, 1924. Really interesting set. I have the Cobb as well as a couple others. They're blank back. Home run champion. A 1920 hand cut. This was a strip card, the W520. Now we'll run through these ice cream cards I've shown relatively recently, but they're so cool because it's the same pose. This is a 28 Harrington's ice cream. Little ice cream stain on the back. And I think you can look back 6 or 7 videos or so where I talk about this set. I think that, I can't remember what the name of the video is, but it's something like You'll Never See This Again. And you won't, because I have all 3 of them. Here's the Inklings. And when I showed this before, I pronounced it Yinglings, not knowing any better, but it's Yinglings ice cream. Beer maker, but during the couldn't make beer during the Prohibition. Here's the most expensive and the rarest of the ice cream issues with this pose is the Tharps ice cream. The W572, W575-2. I did a video on this not too long ago. PSA has it wrong. It's not a hand-cut card. This card was factory cut in boxes with some other cards. It is blank back, and I thought I did a reasonable way of explaining the tie-in with some of the other issues with this. Cool Babe Ruth card, very rare. And the last of the Oxford confectionery trio of the big guys. This is the Ruth. My favorite Babe Ruth card. Talks about the players, how it's wrapped in caramel, and reproduced by the Oxford Confectionery Company, and then it gives its checklist. Super cool. It's super tough card. So that's it for this batch. I plan to do more and more over the next few years whenever I get a hankering to do it. Sometimes I'm really gung-ho for showing cards, and other times I really don't want to show any of my cards. It's weird, I know. And this one is just, wow. 54 Johnston cookies. This makes his 54 Tops just look like a very, very common card. So much fewer of these. No one makes cookies like Johnston. So that's it. Thanks for watching. You guys have a good night.